I had to brake with my feet, and I did not like that. Ooh-wee, what a couple weeks, man. You see in front of you a wet MT-09. It happens to be my fiance's bike. I'm riding his because I can't ride mine, and let's just hop on the bike and I'll tell you a bit more about why. Love this thing, but it sure is loud, so I hope you can hear me. Not accustomed to motovlogging on such a beast. It's a wet late afternoon in Milwaukee. We never get weather like this in April. I mean, we get rain in April, but we never get this type of warmth in April. So I was so excited. Got back from my visit to Spain with Ducati. I got to ride the new next generation 2023 Scramblers in Valencia, which was, I mean, hard to describe. It was an incredible opportunity, and I'm the luckiest girl on earth sometimes. I do believe it. And yeah, I had a really phenomenal time doing that. And then came back a couple days of so-so weather, and then it got really, really nice. It got to be like, you know, low 80s, high 70s in April, and that's tough for Wisconsin to accomplish. So I was so excited. I ran downstairs one morning. I had put my battery back in the bike. I had it on the tender, and then I tried to go somewhere. What's this guy doing? Ugh. It's that time of year, walking around or riding around and people are just behaving sketch. Go to ride my bike and I bring it down the alleyway and I cannot brake. Oh my God, I could not brake, rear brake nor front brake. Both were out of commission. So after doing a little looking around my bike, I noticed that there were some wires, and you know what, I'm new to all this. I'm no specialist, but I looked up near my handlebars and I saw that some wires up there were, well, one was severed and one was hanging on by a thread. And that freaked me out. First, I thought maybe like a rodent did it. I thought maybe someone did it on purpose. It was really sketched out. And I'm like, okay, I guess this is why neither of the brakes are working. Because, you know, if it were just one or the other, that would have narrowed down the symptoms a bit more, but because it was both, I was like, this is freaking weird and terrifying.
So this was pretty early in the diagnosing process, and I'm still not 100% sure right now what happened to the bike. So I've been talking to somebody at Ducati, and they tend not to diagnose these things via email, but he was theorizing that it could be the brake light. But since I genuinely have no braking, it might not be that. So I'm still figuring it out. I'm just going to take it into a dealership to help me get it diagnosed. So we're going to sort this out the right way. So all this other stuff you hear in the video is kind of speculation, so you can just watch it for fun, but just know that me talking about the ABS module is still a little not necessarily it yet. I really don't know what's going on with my bike.
The wires that were leading up to that are linked up to, like, they're like the CPU caliper wire, something like that. So basically, obviously, they communicate with the brakes. And I've heard of online a lot of people talking about them like locking up because it's the ABS, but I suppose because mine were just straight up severed, it was doing the opposite and not doing anything at all. So needless to say, I did not ride that day because I literally couldn't. I had to bring it back into the garage, and I was so sad, and it was really scary because I had to brake with my feet, and I did not like that because first they were like, the brakes were kind of catching. They were like kind of almost catching, so I thought they just needed to be like, I don't know, pumped back up. That's what Dan suggested. Try just taking it around the block to see if I can get it. I know, maybe if there's like a bubble. I mean, I had recently bled my brakes, and then, well, I guess that was like last season, and then at the end of last season, I brought it in for a full tune-up, and I'm pretty sure they did the brakes. They did I did the oil change, but they did the rest of the fluid. So she should have been spick and span. Kind of surreal and stressful to think, like, what if those wires broke off while I was riding. That's really scary to think about. If I were on the freeway, I would, I don't want to think about it. It makes me want to throw up. Yeah, I don't know what to do yet. The wires are severed like right at the point where the module is, where they like meet the module. So that's why it doesn't seem like it was tampered with, because there's no like clean cut, like a snip. And because they were like only partially done, I don't know, it just seems like they naturally wore away, which is a little disappointing. My bike's only 6 years old. Let's go down Brady Street for old time's sake. I don't live on this side of town anymore, so I don't really go through here, but it's a cute day. See what everyone's up to. Pretty sure we'll need to replace the whole thing, or like replace the whole module potentially, if we can't like solder the wires together, just because there's no wire real estate to really work with. So I know right now as I'm blogging, it's a little up in the air. I've been looking at some diagrams and stuff, and I want to just get a bit of a better understanding before I start looking for parts and deciding what I need, because if I had to replace the whole ABS system, it's like over $1,000. So I don't want to have to do that if I don't have to, because literally it's technically just the wires, it seems. But then I'm also a little intimidated of just me and Dan doing it, because there's little computers involved, and I would hate to not do it right and to have an ABS malfunction while I'm riding. So that's the pickle I'm in. But on the bright side, I get to ride Dan's MT-09. He really would not. We've gotten to a stage in our relationship. Obviously, we are engaged, and that's actually new news. But we're engaged, so I think now I have earned the ability to borrow the bike. He was out of town. He was in Florida with his family for Easter, and I was staying here. And he let me borrow the bike, so that's really exciting. Now he's back, and I'm still borrowing it. So yeah, I've been loving this bike. It's kind of crazy having been in Florida with Honda riding the Rebels. Oh my god, this person. Oh, do you love seeing someone with their whole like front end of their car demolished, and you're like, I gotta drive near this person who was just in an accident, and who knows, it could have been their fault. Anyways, that tangent aside, yeah, very surreal and cool having. I feel like no one's using church signals anymore. Is that a new thing? Having ridden in Florida with Honda, in Spain with Italy, that was actually my first time riding internationally, so that's super exciting. And then coming back, wanting to ride my bike, can't ride my bike, am riding Dan's bike. Wow, this is a nice bike. And now I'm more confident on it because I've just been able to ride it by myself. I only rode it like once last year because I like begged Dan to switch bikes with me, and we had a fun little ride. And I was pretty intimidated, mostly because he was there and he was giving me a whole lecture on how not to ruin his bike. And then now I've just spent like the last couple of rides on bikes that aren't mine, so I'm just like in the groove of riding bikes that aren't mine. I'm now really comfortable on his bike from borrowing it a little bit the last couple days. And wow, this thing is so great. It just, obviously I've been riding in standard mode. I haven't even done A mode just because I don't want to accidentally do something stupid, and standard is really gives up me all the juice that I need. Last time I rode it, I accidentally left it in B mode the whole time, and now I'm like, standard's the way to go. And I think Dan rides in A mode because he's that kind of guy. But man, this thing is so great, and it makes me think that I want to try. I guess I'm riding kind of slow. Makes me think that, man, I really want to try the Scrambler 1100, because I just got back from riding the next generation Scrambler 803s, which is the new version of my bike, and my bike's 6 years old now, so the technology has come a long way, and those were really great bikes. I loved going on that trip. But man, I'm like, what if I try the Scrambler but bigger? Because I would love to try that out. And now this bike has just got me thinking about technology and a sportier experience. And now I just even want to, I've never ridden a Panigale, I've never ridden a Hypermotar. There's just so many bikes that I haven't ridden. And I realize that you guys like me riding other bikes, and that's part of the value I can deliver. It's just talk about my experience on these other bikes. You know kind of my vibe, you know my priorities, you know my bills, you know my experience generally, and you get to see how someone like me would like a type of bike. And I'm realizing that's one of the huge benefits of all these YouTubers is, you know, you can read these general reviews and articles about a bike, but you don't really get context for that person, and you don't know if that person has the same priorities as you, likes the same things as you. So if you vibe with my kind of riding, or think you would, or just curious, you can just tune into what I think, and then you can tune into what someone else thinks, and tune into what someone else thinks. So I know I'm kind of reinvigorated lately. Oh, here I am trying to avoid these little manhole covers and just nailing one. I feel like that's always what happens. But anyways, I'm kind of reinvigorated lately with this whole YouTube thing, and I'm excited to keep riding other bikes, because I think I was just kind of getting bored with showing you guys the same old on my bike, and then not really having anything new to say. So then the topics I covered had to just be me chit-chatting about just really miscellaneous stuff. So I think for me to stay amused and for you guys to stay amused, I should just keep riding new bikes. So that's my plan for this year. We'll see how I can get a hold of them. I was looking, you know, it's tough. Like a lot of these bigger displacement bikes, they do not let you test ride. So maybe I have some pull with this YouTube channel. I can give the dealership some free promo in exchange for me being able to ride these bikes, because I really want to ride Scrambler 1100. I know that Moto Union in West Dallas has one. So I'm going to have to email them and see. But I don't know, they could just say no. So we'll see what I can pull off. I mean, Dan was not allowed to test ride this bike before he bought it. This is a 2019 MT-09, and it's got like a power commander and a quick shifter, and it's full power, my dudes. I think the stock bike, I want to say, is like 111 or 112 horsepower, so he probably squeaks out more than that on this thing. My Scrambler 803, you know, while it is a Ducati, it's not really like as power oriented as some of the other sport bikes, and it gets like 74, which is enough for me. But then I wonder, is it enough for me? You know, I got it in 2017. I've been riding for so much longer since then, and while I'm not hot to replace my bike, I kind of want to see what's out there. I know I can't imagine selling it, but then I also don't have the surplus cash to just buy another bike, or like it wouldn't be smart to do another vehicle loan. It just doesn't make sense. There's so many other things I could use money for right now. So I don't know, just shooting the shit, just curious. So I'm gonna keep just trying out bikes because it's fun, and obviously I love my bike, and I'm gonna repair the brakes. I want to ride my bike. I love my bike. I miss my bike. I was so excited to come, you guys. I was like in my little outfit, because you know the thing about riding is it was the epitome of all dressed up and nowhere to go. I felt like in my ball gown and I got stood up or something. That's fuck you. Oh my god, I feel like I am a new douchier version of myself on this bike. Maybe that's the problem with sport bikes. It's a naked sport bike. I hear it's a hyper naked. Some people say no, some people say yes. Doesn't matter to me. It's naked. I don't remember what I was talking about, but anyways, just excited to be out on any bike, and I just feel so good. It's good to be me. It's cool to be me, and my business is going pretty well, even though there are some hang-ups there with manufacturing and supply chains. There's worse issues with supply chains now than there was during the pandemic for different kinds of reasons, but I won't go into that. But if you see a bunch of things out of stock on my website, that's why. Yeah, tentatively this episode is brought to you by Great Lakes Supply Co. That's my company, and you know, there's no exchange of sponsorship for me to sponsor myself, but that's what makes this channel go round. If it weren't for Great Lakes Supply Co., I'd have nothing to promote and no way to make this channel any money. I kid you not, it is not making money without my business. So if you're wanting to support or you're curious about getting some upgraded armor, go to greatlakesupplyco.com and check it out. I'm actually wearing my riding pants I sell on my store right now, but I'm wearing my Atwild riding jacket, the leather one, because it's a little chilly on the east side. Now I'm getting back into the Bayview area and it's cozier. You can easily just like gain 5 to 10 degrees by just cruising south a little bit sometimes, south or west, depending. But yeah, I think I'll wrap it up here. I mean, thank you guys so much for tuning in to my journey, for watching my videos with Ducati and with Honda. I want to do so much more, especially with Ducati. Obviously, I love that brand. It just speaks to me, and I bought one. But yeah, I want to keep on keeping on, trying new things and sharing it with you guys. So oh my god, girl, bye. Love the brakes on this, great bike. So man, some people really don't look. It's kind of incredible what I've been seeing lately, how few people are paying attention. I've seen people fully run reds. It is the Wild West sometime up here. Sometimes. Anyway, so on that note, I'm still alive. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, ride safe, you know, pay attention, wear the gear that you are comfortable in, and stay focused, my dudes. Alright, love you so much. Bye bye.
Caught up in a long free fall, you got